Hello, everybody. It has been a while since I've done a kind of gear list video. Last year, 2020, for reasons that are obvious, right? I had to do, a gear list, and then I didn't get to actually go on that trip. Since then, of course, I have done, some section hikes over the summer, last summer. I did one, and then this spring I was able to catch up and get some good shorter section hikes in. I have a somewhat longer one coming up next week, what I'm really looking forward to. So getting things together and you know making sure to everything is fine-tuned. I decided, all right, might as well make a gear list. It's been a while. So here we go. Now I'm going to move quickly through the things that are more obvious. For example, my quilt, I'll just kind of, or my pack. I've already done a whole, like, two different videos talking about my pack. I'll just mention it and, keep moving, but there are some small changes that those of you that have been following me or subscribed for a while, you will recognize. Some things, have not changed too much. So yeah, I'll just kind of, I'll stop and talk about things I want to talk about, and stuff I don't feel like talking about, I'll just keep on moving. That's how I'll do it. But yes, in the description below, I'll put a link to my 3 season plus summer gear list. Do note that I've gotten sick of making like 100 different gear lists, so this gear list functions as a very plastic, flexible gear list because the core kit that you see here, what will happen is, depending on the conditions, I'm a section hiker, so between roughly early spring or even late winter until, like, early or mid fall. This kit largely stays the same with some tweaking here and there. So understand that, I've put some notes on the gear list so you can check it out. So it's going to be different depending on the conditions. Now, next week, I'm going up to Värmland, which is up north. There can be cold snaps. So I have a very, conservative kit here just in case it dips down, into some colder temperatures. But it looks like it's going to be a nice weather, somewhat warmer, highs of, say, 15, lows of around 5 or so. But cold snaps can happen, and there can still be snow and zero, especially this spring. It's been a colder spring. All right, but I think that's enough kind of context or like information, introduction, right? Let's just jump into it. Big stuff. I'll start with the big kind of three and take things from there. So the quilt that you see above there, that's my ultralight enchilada quilt, a custom made for me. It's roughly 35-degree rating. I've taken it down lower than that and been just fine. Of course, with proper layers and all that. It's the details are in the gear link below if you want to see all the deets. Right, this is my favorite quilt that I've ever had. I love it. It's great, and that's the stuff sack for it, the dry bag. It's a 12-liter dry bag that fits nicely in the pack at the bottom. And on top of the dry bag, I have a little merino wool beanie and a merino wool pair of leggings, or like base layer bottoms. Then I got my inflatable pillow there. And then, of course, the pack, the Atom Pack. I have already done a first impressions review. I'll put a link to that in the description below if you're looking to hear me talk in great detail on my pack. That you can check out. But the short of it is that I love the pack. It's, got some customizations that I'm very happy with. Yeah, and then, of course, so we have sleep. I should finish off sleep if we're doing big three. That's the Neo Air X-Lite. You know it. You probably love it. It's a fantastic sleeping pad. And then above that is my stuff sack with my tarp and my bivy. Both of those, that's Bora Gear, 9 foot by 7 foot sill poly tarp. And then guy lines and ridge lines are already attached for ease of use. And then my bivy is in there as well with the sill nylon bottom. And it's the Dimma style bivy with the vent on top. Then I have my rain gear in that stuff sack above that, which is a poncho tarp and some rain pants. Yeah. And then that's my food bag. I actually have my food already packed and ready to go. And then is that the big three taken care of? Pretty much, right? I got pack, shelter, and sleep taken care of. And then I have my puffy. I actually was considering just keeping this as like in my clothing warm, because this is my Torrid Enlightened Equipment Torrid jacket. I use it enough that I could make the argument that it could count as clothing worn, but I'm not going to be, you know, a stickler about it. Fine. I do pack it, when I don't need it. So, okay, fine. What happens is when it's warmer temperatures is I swap that out for my down vest that I use as well, but not this time. Just as a insurance for cold snaps. Also, it looks like it might rain, and this will do better if it's cold and wet. That will do better. It's a synthetic insulation jacket. All right, so I guess yeah, that takes care of the big three plus, something that complements the big three with the sleep, right? Because I can wear the puffy to bed. But now let's get into some little details, right, that I had wanted to get into a bit more. So I guess let's start over here. This big row here, I can get down. Also, I'm standing up on like a little stool here so I could get a shot of everything. But I have some new things, so I'll start there. So if you look here, I have some new water bottles. I got these just last week. They are the Lighterpack soft flask water bottles, and I'm excited to try them out because I've been looking for something that's more not only sustainable but also for peace of mind about plastics and the things getting into the plastics, right? This is a TPU plastic which is used in medical, it's like medical grade plastic, and I've read some good things about it. I've done a lot of research on plastics. In fact, in the future I plan on writing a whole big blog post about plastics. But the point is that when it comes to plastic bottles, I have used for many, many years, I've used recycled plastic, just like water bottles, like it you buy at the store and then you wash out and recycle. And I kept a pair of water bottles for like years. Then they started to get really worn out. And I decided, okay, I'm tired of just washing them, and hoping for the best. They're starting to get beaten up, right? I want to get something that's more durable. I want to get something that I can have more peace of mind about, you know, safety issues with plastic, right? So, after doing much research, I settled upon these Hydropack bottles. And on top of that, I thought, why not replace my mug, which is also Hydro Flask. It's the same material, and it's very soft. I'll show you. So you can actually, mush it down. And this is a good container. I've talked about in the past the benefits of having a nice container. My other mug was the Sea to Summit, X cup, but this one is a fraction of the weight. This only weighs 11 grams, while the Sea to Summit mug weighed 47 grams, if I remember correctly. But this is nice because this has something that the other one doesn't, which is a nice little handle if I want to dip into some water. I can still use this to collect, berries or greens if I want to, forage. I can still, the main purpose will be to fill the water bladder. I have the Sawyer mini there and the water bladder. That it makes things much more convenient to fill up the water bladder when you have a little cup or mug to pour it in. But yeah, the same material. I'm not going to say too much more about the material because it is rather complicated. You kind of jump down a rabbit hole when you get into plastic and all the different kinds of plastic and the safety and the chemicals and this and that and the other. Yeah, so now since we're talking water bottles, we can go ahead and jump into the Sawyer Mini. I just recently I let it soak in some vinegar, and then after that, I back flushed it with some bleach water, so it's got some good flow again. Many people complain about the flow rate of the Mini and the Micro especially, but because I'm a section hiker and not a through hiker, I don't mind just, giving it some maintenance and it's good to go. But if you're a through hiker, you probably want to get the big regular Sawyer Mini. Now, an improvement that I did to this that you may find interesting, I certainly was happy with this, is that this is just an old, tiny little mesh stuff sack that came with my anchor, an older anchor from years ago. And I saved it, and I'm glad I did because I needed something that could serve several purposes with the Sawyer filter, right? This fits nicely inside, and it serves several purposes. One, it helps to protect the Sawyer. Like if I drop it when I'm like digging around in my pack, it just offers a little bit of protection to the Sawyer filter. That is, it also can keep it cleaner by not letting any dust or dirt or debris get into it while it's in my pack. But also it's a comfort thing because at night, if it gets below freezing or around freezing, many people, it's a good idea when many backpackers will sleep with their filter so it doesn't freeze. And so what I do is I put it in here, and then I put that in a stuff sack so that way, if it's still maybe a bit damp, I'm not going to get bothered while I'm sleeping by like a cold damp thing in my quilt, like in the bottom of my quilt. So that helps with that. Now, there's also another added benefit. Because it's a mesh bag, right? You obviously can see through it, it's mesh. I can actually use this as a pre-filter. If I put this on top of the water bottle, right? If the water is particularly, dirty with floaties and things, right? I can, and for years been trying to figure out how do I get like a good pre-filter. I have in the past used a small, like a very small trim piece of cotton handkerchief, like a maybe 10, square centimeter piece of cotton, and that worked all right. And then I just didn't use it for a while, and I would just like kind of when I got to dirty water sources, I would clear the water more with like leaves and stuff to try and clear away debris floating in the water, and that's a painstaking chore. So I thought, okay, here we go. So this little stuff sack, um, which is included in the weight of the Sawyer, it serves like several different purposes, which is nice. So then after that is the bladder. All right, not much to say there. First aid kit and repair kit. That's my ground cover inside a little DCF bag, just to keep, if it's, wet or has debris on it after, sleeping, it can, be stuffed in there so it doesn't get other stuff dirty. The, tent stakes in that bag there. That's DCF on top and then the hybrid DCF on the bottom for added durability. In the little orange stuff sack, socks, spare socks. In the next DCF bag, we have battery, a new anchor, and cord, and a plug. And there's my ditty bag. You can see I have a towel there, and some biodegradable soap. And of course, inside you have your toothbrush, toothpaste, and some TP. Maps are in that little Ziploc bag. And yeah, then over here you see my fanny pack. The fanny pack, I keep my headlamp, and then my knife, and then my, lip balm. It's pretty empty because I've taken things out, like I like to have gum, or maybe a granola bar, or if I'm running low on water and I've taken a break, what I can do is I can have my water purification stuff or filter here, handy, right? I like that it's not overstuffed from the start. I have plenty of space to work with. My phone goes there, and which I'm filming on right now. My phone goes in there. I like to have a few different, places where I can just kind of put whatever I want. Same thing with the pack. The pack has not only the front pocket, but it has shoulder pockets. And so on the shoulder pockets, I can put, whatever I want in the shoulder pockets. Maybe my buff, or maybe, maybe I can put the buff in there. Maybe I whatever. If I'm in town and I want to buy some junk food, I want to buy, whatever, I can just stuff it wherever, and I don't have to take off my pack. I have plenty of room to work with in the shoulder pockets, plus the fanny pack, plus my pants pocket if I really need to, which I rarely do. All right, on top of what all these things which I've already talked about, that's on top of a foam pad here, which you can see. That's just a trim piece of decathlon pad that I put as a back pad, and also it's a nice peace of mind in case this goes flat, which hasn't happened, yet with this air mat, but it's nice, to bump the warmth through, because I can put that underneath my pad at night, or if my legs are cold, I can put that under my legs. But mostly what I do is I put it underneath the sleeping pad just to bump the warmth a bit. Oh, and you know what's missing, actually? I have a sit pad somewhere that I should have included in this. Anyway, I'll find that later. But I have another small piece of foam sit pad that I add to this. And because it's not as cold lately, then I have a not as warm one. For colder temperatures, I have the Thermarest sit pad. But for, now that it's warming up, it's now mid-spring or later spring, I have one that's just a generic foam thinner pad, sit pad. That way that one can get dirty, and this one that's in my pack stays nice and clean, so I can have no problems adding it to my sleep system. Over here, my cook kit. I've had this titanium pot for a long, long time, and if you want to peek inside, right, it's same as it ever was. Little light load towel, my Esbit in there, Esbit stove, lighter, trim piece of ground reflector pie pan, titanium windscreen. That's that, and it fits inside a plastic bag, which is, if you live in Sweden, you recognize this is a Systembolaget bag, which is like a tougher plastic bag, and when it gets, really dirty, then I can recycle it. Food bag, same old food bag I've had for years, and that's 3.5 days worth of food there. And finally, I have a pair of gloves, merino wool gloves, just, keep my hands warm. And then this little stuff sack, this is one of the lighter stuff sacks that I own. This is to put the filter. So I've already explained the filter situation, that I can put it inside that, the little mesh stuff sack. And then that goes in this little stuff sack when it's in my pack, when I'm not using my wind jacket goes in there. But at night, when I sleep, my phone, so what I'm filming on, my phone, the battery, the charger for my phone, and the Sawyer, all that goes into this bag, and then I chuck this bag, well, not really hard or anything, but I throw the bag into the bottom of my quilt, like between my legs where there's space. That way it stays warm, so the battery can last longer. The cold saps the, battery power from your phone or your battery, and the filter won't freeze. And that's it. I think I covered everything except for the sit pad, which, you know what? Maybe do I have one here? No, I'm gonna have to go looking around for it. That's why it's a good idea to spread out all your gear like this. It's not just for show. It's not just for the Instagram, pictures, whatever. It's nice so you can take a look at everything all at once and go, okay, what's missing? What do I need? Do I need to fill up anything? Do I have toothpaste? Do I have fuel? Right? But that's it. All right. I'm looking forward to this trip. Some little changes here and there, but that's it. Hope this is helpful. Hope you guys are getting out there yourselves this spring, and happy trails, and goodbye.